Hello, my name is Lauren Hand. I'm a 9th year youth volunteer in the Textiles program at Prairie. Today, we'll be going through the process of carding wool and how the tools used during this process have changed over time. After the wool has been shorn from the sheep, it's washed to remove any excess lanolin or grease from the fibers. Even after washing, the wool is frequently tangled with fibers going in different directions, and it may still have debris in it. Carding is the process of brushing through those wool fibers. This allows all the fibers to become untangled and be facing in the same direction. Additionally, carding helps to remove any debris left in the wool. This process prepares the wool fibers to then be spun into yarn. The earliest recorded use of cards is in 13th century France. Early cards looked like handheld wooden paddles with metal teeth placed in rows. They also have a wooden handle. Cards did not change much throughout history. This is what a pair of cards would look like in the 1800s, which is nearly identical to those in 13th century France. Two paddles are used to brush wool, separate fibers, and realign those fibers in the same direction. The look of cards has not changed much even into today. They still resemble paddles with rows of metal teeth. Modern handheld cards do have a slight curvature, and the teeth of the card are also angled to allow for easier detangling of fibers. Locks of wool are pulled from the fleece and laid out evenly across the card. The cards are then brushed together, starting at the ends of the fibers, working your way up. After all fibers have been transferred from the first card onto the other, you switch which card is in which hand and repeat the process. This is done until all lumps are removed from the wool and the fibers feel smooth. The wool is then able to be removed from the card by rolling it off the card, following the curvature of the teeth. You are then left with a roll lag, or a piece of wool that is ready to be spun into yarn. Throughout time, carding has been industrialized. Carding machines were invented in 1748. These machines are called drum carders. The first noted use of drum carding machines in the United States was in the 1790s. These machines are able to brush through larger amounts of wool than if it were to have been done by hand. Carding machines are now very large and are typically used in factories. They have made the process of preparing wool much more efficient, especially since many of the facilities would wash the wool in large batches prior to carding. This helped accelerate the preparation of wool to be spun or used for other purposes. Handheld cards and drum carders are also still used today by spinners. Handheld cards have kept primarily the same shape, but have a larger brush and a slight curve of the brush head. In the future, carding may become more electronic, perhaps with the introduction of an electric drum carder to be used for small-scale carding needs. This is just the first step of the process. To make a finished product, like a piece of fabric or a scarf, the wool still needs to be spun and woven into that finished product. If you're interested in learning more about this process, check out the other videos in this series.